Hello and welcome to the Cavern of Terror.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Cavern of Terror. And due to the amazingly large positive reaction to my last video, my webcam style video on why Halloween 2 isn't as good as you remember it, I decided to do something similar with this video for Halloween 2018. You guys really seem to like this style, and I think I'm going to do this for really special videos like huge movies like this, maybe once or twice a month. At the time of recording, it is 2:24 in the morning, and I just got back from seeing Halloween 2018. I know what you guys are thinking and what most of you are saying. Zach, what did you think of Halloween 2018? This was probably one of the best sequels in the whole franchise. If David Gordon Green's Halloween 2018 isn't one of the best sequels in the franchise, it damn sure is one of the best follow-ups to the 1978 Halloween. Unlike 1981's Halloween 2, this does feel like a true sequel to the 78 classic. If you've seen my review of 1981's Halloween 2, my ranking video on the O.G. Myers films, and my video, definitely my last video, on why Halloween 2 1981 isn't as good as you remember, you know why I have problems with that movie. If you haven't seen those videos, which I definitely recommend you checking out, I'll give you a small recap right now. Number 1, John Carpenter did not want to write Halloween 2. Number 2, and this is one of the most important things, because John Carpenter did not want to write Halloween 2, the characters suffer. Number 3, and this is something that I forgot to mention in my video, the pacing of Halloween 2 suffers very much as well because there's a lot of fluff due to the writing. Number 4, there are plot holes galore in Halloween 2. Number 5, guys, we have a very different Michael Myers in Halloween 2. He feels like a completely different character. He doesn't even really feel like Michael Myers at some points. Oktoberfest break. I actually got the Sam Adams this time, which is much better than that victory stuff. There you have it. So in a nutshell, that's why I don't really like Halloween 2, the original. I like it, but I have a lot of problems with it. On to the next point as to why I think this is one of the best sequels in the whole franchise is the Carpenter's score. And that's right, I said the Carpenter's score because it's not just John Carpenter. His son, Cody Carpenter, helped with this score. This score was really, really good. This was probably the best score since Halloween 3. As you guys know, if you've seen my review of Halloween 3, I really liked the score. If you haven't checked out that review, head over to my Halloween playlist to see that. But I think this is probably the best score since Halloween 3. We get a lot of synth in this. We get a lot of Howarth-esque score here. We get a lot of, actually, a guitar melody at some points, and I really, really enjoyed it. But the thing that I liked the most about this score is that anytime Myers was on screen, it was atmospheric as hell. Anytime we got Myers, we got this really dark, like, imposing score that would just be like, oh shit, motherfuckers, Michael Myers is here, you better run for your motherfucking life. It helped set the tone, and that is very important in a movie like this. Long story short, I love the score, and that really helped contribute to the atmosphere, but the cinematography really helped as well. This is a gorgeous movie, and it goes back to the gorgeous cinematography of all the sequels in the original Halloween. That is something that stands out in this franchise, that these movies always look great. I feel like this would marry up very well to the original Halloween if you watched this as a double feature. I kept looking at the screen and be like, yeah, this is set 40 years in the future, but I think this really could be a straight double feature. You could watch this movie and then, or you can watch the first movie and then you can watch this one right after, and it wouldn't feel much different. I'll be honest with you guys, I was very apprehensive going into this movie, knowing that David Gordon Green and, more importantly, Danny McBride were writing this movie. I don't know why, but I kept thinking that, I don't know, these are comedy guys. Is this movie going to be too funny? I will not lie to you guys, there are a lot of comedic tones in this. I'm not really spoiling anything. This movie was a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be. But guys, they bring the dread and tension. They knocked it out of the park. Some of the tension scenes in this movie I would compared to the original. There are some very nail-biting sequences, especially the bathroom scene. Just like Drum Dum said in his review, Lee, the bathroom scene is nuts. It's one of the best filmed scenes in the whole franchise, in my opinion. It's like the scene in Halloween H2O, like we watched the movie said in their review, or not in their review, but their review of the trailer. I think it was Mike that said it, that it was a straight homage to Halloween H2O, and it is. But they take that scene and they amp it up to 11, and it is probably the best scene in the movie, in my opinion. The writing, just like I said in my Halloween 2 video I did, really hinges on everything else in this movie, and the writing is great for the most part with all the characters, which is my next point. Halloween 2018 probably has some of the best characters in the whole franchise. I don't know if I was very clear when I said this earlier in the video, but the Halloween movies play to the strengths of the other sequels in the franchise. And this one is no exception. They play to their strengths. If they have good characters and good dialogue, they are going to play to that. If they have good cinematography, they're going to play to that. And like I'm saying with the characters, this harkens back to Halloween 6, especially that breakfast scene. There are some very tense situations with characters in this movie, and the character beats are top notch, especially the scenes with Laurie Strode, and we will get to her. That brings me to the acting. The acting in this movie is off the charts. I thought that all the characters in this were very good because of the actors, especially Will Patton. Will Patton as Deputy Hawks, I think it was Deputy Hawks. He was one of the best characters in the whole franchise. He was only in a couple scenes, but he was crazy good in every single scene he was in. I was most invested when he was on the screen and when Laurie was on the screen. Jamie Lee Curtis knocks it out of the fucking park, people. She was awesome in this movie. This was probably her best performance in the whole franchise. You guys know that I loved her in the original Halloween, and I love her even more in H2O, but she knocks out all those performances compared to this one. This is a damaged character. This is a badass character. Damaged badass characters are some of my favorite characters in film. And just, this Laurie Strode, I feel sorry for Sarah Connor. Yeah, we got the badass old chick in this movie. So whatever Terminators bring in better be better than this. Oktoberfest break. Like I said at the beginning of this video, this feels like a straight sequel to the original Halloween, and one of the biggest contributing factors to that, I finally got that right, it took me 8 takes, is Michael Myers. James Jude Courtney as Michael fucking Myers is amazing in this goddamn movie. It took me 50 takes to get that right, and I was really excited. Michael Myers is awesome in this movie, and James Jude Courtney is probably the best Myers that we've had since Nick Castle. I loved every single little movement this guy had. He is brutal. He is powerful. He reminds me of Nick Castle. He reminds me of George P. Wilbur in his kills. He reminds me of the original Shape. And that's why I say that this movie feels like a sequel to the original more than the original Halloween 2. Nick Castle and Dick Warlock feel like two completely different characters. Nick Castle and James Jude Courtney, nah, they feel like the same dude. This feels like the same Michael from the original Halloween, just way more brutal. I'm not going to spoil the kills, but I think I'm going to see this movie again on Wednesday. So if you want me to do a full-on spoiler talk video about Halloween and about these amazing kills, I will do it. Just let me know down in the comments down below. But guys, this dude is amazing in this movie. I've said it a million times. A lot of people have already said it, and I'm going to echo their thoughts. James Jude Courtney is probably the best Myers since Nick Castle, if not a little bit better. Okay, so it isn't all sunshine and rainbows here with this movie. There are some negatives, and I think it is with some of the writing. There are some story things in here that aren't solved. They aren't finished in this movie, and I think that they were going to be explained in a sequel, which I most definitely think that we're going to get. But there are a couple characters where I'm not too sure on who they actually are, and hope they get a little bit more development in a sequel that we most definitely will probably get. And there are a couple side stories that don't quite end that I think that we might get in a sequel. And it is the writing. The writing is probably one of the things that could be considered a negative. I really, really like the writing in other aspects, but there are some small stories and small characters in this movie that don't quite get as much explanation as they should have, and they don't get that ending that they should have gotten, which they probably will get in a sequel, which we will probably get in like 2020 or 2021. Who knows when we're actually going to get the sequel? I'm hoping 2020. I mean, I predicted 2019 for it, and that's when that movie's coming out. So I'm thinking that probably 2020 we will get a sequel to this, and I really don't want to wait that long. Okay, so this has been my first impressions, I guess you can say, for Halloween 2018. If you want me to do a spoiler video after I see this movie again in theaters, please let me know down in the comments down below. If you like this video, share it around to everybody. Let them check out this content. If you're not subscribed here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because I'm putting out a whole bunch of content for you guys to check out. That includes my possible spoiler review of this, my review of the Final Destination 4, and my review of the Boogeyman, which I have coming, and my review of A Nightmare on Elm Street, which I'm working very hard on, and I want those videos to be great. Like I said, if you want me to do a spoiler talk review, please let me know. I would love to talk about this badass movie one more time. I know I usually end all these videos with stay metal, my friends, but guys, I'm gonna say that Halloween 18 is the best sequel in the Halloween franchise. 3,